And I'll have the Caesar salad.
Very good.
Thank you. Well, now tell me, what was so important that I had to skip biology lab?
I really feel bad about that. You never should have said yes.
I told you it's no problem to make up. Now, come on. I'm dying of curiosity.
Courtney, it's about Peter Davidson. Vaughn showing up the other night wasn't the only reason all that was so uncomfortable. You see, the Davidsons and the Carpenters go back a few years. In fact, my father hates Peter's family.
Ben, glad I caught you here. I didn't want to have to do this in the clinic.
Do what? Here, let me take your coat.
No, it's okay. I think I better keep it on. Once you hear what I have to tell you, I think you're probably going to want to throw me out.
I doubt if there's anything you have to say that can make me that angry. Come on, lighten up, Doug. Have a seat.
No, thanks. Did I ever tell you that I went to school with Dan Myers?
No.
No, of course not. That would have been a mistake. Yeah, well, we went to school together. Went to school together at Bryson. We were good friends, as a matter of fact. Dan was different back then. He was a lot of fun. Big partier. Always had 100 things going on at the same time.
That included you in all of them.
Yeah. But, you know, I guess you eventually have to pay for that kind of goofing off. At least I did. Dan, he was always the kind of guy, he could get blitzed on a Thursday night, come in Friday morning, 8 a.m., pull an A on a 3-hour essay exam.
What happened, Doug?
It was my third year in law school. My thesis. I tried. I really tried hard, but I couldn't get through it. Dan came to the rescue. He found a paper for me, a thesis. I don't know where he found it, but it was written sometime in the 50s. It was brilliant, though. And it hadn't been rewritten or appendaged.
And you used it.
I had to. I mean, all my schooling, everything I had worked for, would have been meaningless without it. And no one ever found it. I even won an award for it. $500. I took the money, went out, got drunk. What was left of the money, I took it stuffed in some old bum's pocket outside the bar. Then I tried to forget that the whole thing ever happened.
And then a few years later, Dan Myers reminds you that you still owe him a favor.
Yeah. Ben, I'm sorry. I never thought this thing would come to trial. Really, I didn't. I mean, I thought everybody would settle out of court. I'm sorry, Ben.
But it's only an editorial in a local newspaper. Look, you boys in Washington tend to get very nervous at these very small things. But my mail is running 3-to-1 in my favor. All right, this won't hurt the party. Look, the DA has promised me that he's going to take care of Andrea Summers' testimony in his summation. I don't know. Anytime now. And when he does, I'll just hold a press conference and elaborate on his arguments, and we'll take care of all the objections. Fine. Yes. Yes.
Uncle Charles hates Peter? That's ridiculous.
I agree, but it's partly my fault, though.
Oh, well, the plot thickens. Now I'm glad I skipped bio. Give me all the juicy details.
Well, unfortunately, I think that's the right word for it. See, a couple of years ago, I asked my father to help me get a divorce from Paul. And Daddy decided to dream up this scheme where we would implicate one of the students having an affair with Paul. And he decided to choose Peter's sister, Lori.
Well, why implicate anyone? Getting a divorce doesn't require those tactics anymore.
It does if you want it to be uncontested and you want full custody.
Eric? This is juicy.
Yeah. He's been the center of all of our problems ever since he was born.
Uncle Charles can't wait to get his hands on him and force him into the carpenter mold, right?
Exactly.
Funny how similar our fathers really are.
Yeah, which is probably why they dislike each other so much. Anyway, the Davidsons decided to fight back and get involved, and the entire thing backfired, with my father looking pretty silly in the end.
For which he blamed the Davidsons.
Oh, yes, of course.
No wonder.
Oh, there's more. Enter one Nancy Lawson, sister of Terry Davidson.
Peter's aunt?
Yes, who proceeded to have an affair with my father.
Uncle Charles? You're kidding.
He surprised us all with that one.
But if he hates Peter's family, well then...
It's a very long story, but it happened... Well, that ended up worse than the first. Anyway, I really believe if I hadn't been there the other night, Peter never would have gotten past the front door. And the reason I'm telling you all of this is that, well, I know about your commitment with Vaughn, but still I just kind of thought that you and Peter were... Well, I don't know. I guess I just thought maybe it was something you should know.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, Courtney, are you and Peter...
Oh, I don't know. I can give you all of the reasons why we shouldn't be, though.
Okay. Do you feel like talking about it?
Well, you know about Vaughn. Only commitment isn't the word I'd use. Obligation is more like it.
Carpenter mold again.
Yeah, why do people with wealth sacrifice their offspring to keep it?
But I never thought money and all of its trappings were really that important to you.
They're not.
Well, I don't understand then.
It's my mother. Guess this is a day for family secrets, huh? She's a lot sicker than anybody ever let on. Oh, she has her good periods, but that's all they are. They're not permanent. See, the doctors and the psychiatrists say that she'll never be well.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, too. And I'm angry. I love my mother, but even royalty isn't treated as well as she is. You know, that's not a mental hospital that she's in. It's some fantasy land. And my father's waving the magic wand to make all of her wishes come true. Only the magic wand, the treasure chest, is just about empty.
Oh, so if you would marry Vaughn, then there would be enough money again and life would go on.
Well, the fantasy will. I think that life, at least mine, will pretty much just come to a standstill.
You were saying the other day that you could probably forgive Nancy. I just thought that maybe you could... Yeah. Listen, I think probably the best thing for me to do is just leave. I'll see to it that you get another lawyer. I'll pay all the legal fees.
If you do that, Dan Myers will know that I'm on to him. He'll also go to the bar with your story, and that would be the end of your career.
Yeah. Be a pretty fitting end, wouldn't it?
Maybe. Please close the door. Come on back in here, Doug. Sit down. Thanks for having the courage to tell me this. I know it would have been easy for you to keep me in the dark.
Yeah. Just wish I had the courage to turn Dan down.
Well, we can go on from here. I mean, this really doesn't mean that the case is lost.
Well, not as long as I get a chance to stand in front of a jury and tell your side of the story. Dan's expecting a pretty weak rendition of it, but he can't stop me once I start.
Good. Good.
Why aren't you angry?
Have I given you that impression? I am very angry. But I know that wouldn't do any good to give it free rein. Now look, you've asked to be forgiven, and I know you meant it. And I have an obligation to forgive you. But I'm not there yet. I'll try, but you're going to have to give me a little time.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Doug.
Hi.
Ben, I'm glad you're back. And I'm glad you're here too, Doug. I had a visitor earlier. And I'm afraid it's bad news.
Doug and I have some news, too.
Now, I'm not apologizing for my courtroom strategy. I've clearly won this case, and my opponent knows it. He's just stalling for time.
When one stalls for time, Marshal, one generally has a reason. So what is Webster's?
Well, I think he's just trying to buy a few more days of freedom for Dave Phillips.
I'm so glad that you're so unconcerned.
Well, I am.
Look, my reputation can't take a few more days' speculation in the news media. This trial has to end.
What do you want me to do? Tell the defense that they have no right to finish their case?
No, but at least you could have cross-examined Andrea Summers and torn apart her testimony when you had the
something to
chance.
tear apart.
What is that supposed to mean?
Your testimony was a little misleading when you were on the stand. I can't accuse you of perjury.
Oh, you certainly can't.
But I can wonder. Anyway, all that's immaterial.
Really? Why?
Because Webster is finished presenting his case, and tomorrow, I'm ready to do my summation.
What makes you so sure you've won?
Well, haven't you been following this case, Lee? I mean, haven't you at least read the newspapers?
Just answer the question, please.
My, aren't we touchy? I'm referring to Stacy Phillips' comments when she made her testimony. Right there.
The part where Dave says he can't be sure that he didn't kill Kate?
That's right.
Well, they're damaging, sure, but that's hardly...
Damaging? You should have seen the reaction of the jury. They were horrified. I mean, Dave Phillips' own daughter tied a bright ribbon on the box we'd already neatly packaged.
So you're saying that Webster's strategy really isn't a smokescreen, that is exactly what it seems?
Less than that. He never refuted any of my evidence, and his reconstructions were hypothetical and amateurish. Why, he hasn't even elicited any emotion from one of the jurors.
How long do you think it will take the jury to deliberate?
Less than 1 hour.
Good. Now, there is just one other little matter. Once upon a time, you promised that you would take care of Andrea Summers' testimony in your summation.
Did I?
Yes, you did. But why do I get the feeling that that's no longer top priority with you?
Well, Lee, maybe because it isn't.
Oh, wait a minute. My legitimacy as a congressman depends on your taking care of it.
One little indiscretion. I mean, congressmen have always
And
made...
it will be to your political advantage to do it.
Oh, really? Well, then, it's my decision, isn't it? Excuse me.
The whole idea behind the plan was to make you feel secure and then take advantage of that security.
I see.
Look, I know my saying I'm sorry is not even going to begin to make up for all the mess I've caused. But I am sorry. And I'm going to do everything I can to make up for it.
Of course you will. Why did you decide to tell us?
You two were so trusting. I mean, every time I came over here, you either thanked me or told me how much confidence you had in me. I mean, it got to the point where the guilt was just too much. And then Ben the other day was telling me, give me that little speech about how you were going to forgive Nancy. Well, that was the topper. I went to see Nancy this morning and told her the whole thing. I told her about Julia, the fake divorce, everything. I don't know what she thought about it, but I figured she had a right to know.
You know, she came over here to see me about an hour ago.
What did she say?
Well, she told me that she had talked to Doug, and she thought you had already told us about the Julia and Dan plot. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference anyway. The fact is, Nancy still wants to give Dan the benefit of the doubt.
What?
Oh, come on. She can't be that stupid.
Oh, come on. She's just setting herself up for another con.
I know. I tried to tell her that, but she says he deserves to tell what his side of the story is.
Well, that does it. I've had it. I've had enough. I'm going to go to the Bar Association. I'm going to tell them the whole story.
No, just calm down. If you do that, then you're finished, too.
Yeah. I just don't care.
Well, I do care. You're no good to anyone if you're disbarred.
Yeah, well, neither is Dan Myers. And then this whole malpractice business will be through.
No, we don't know that. Nancy'd probably just get another lawyer, and he'd pick right up where Dan left off. No. Let Dan think that you're still part of this double cross. Let him go into the courtroom overconfident. That's the only way I can see us getting out of this.
Did you tell Nancy that you were going to talk to Ben?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Another stupid move, huh? Boy, I'm really a big help, aren't I?
Well, we don't know that she'll tell Dan.
You don't seriously think that she won't?
Well?
You think this is going to be one of those things that we can just laugh about in a few years? I mean, it is kind of funny, you know? Here we are, the sheep trying to outwit the fox. You know what I mean? I think I'm going to go start dinner.
No, I've got a better idea.
What?
I will throw you out of the room. I mean, I will literally pick you up and toss you out in the hall. What do you think about that?
Be serious, will you?
I am. I promise I won't hurt you.
Look, I believe this should be realistic.
That's right, or else Nancy's not going to believe it.
But physical violence.
Well, I mean, we've already done the screaming routine, and this is just going beyond that. That's all.
What could possibly get me that upset?
I thought you'd never ask. Remember this?
I sure do. How come you never gave me gifts like this?
Well, because you weren't worth 1.2 million, that's why.
You're all heart. That's why I married you. Okay. What did you have in mind?
Okay, here's the plan. You'll already be there, so yelling at Nancy and all that kind of stuff. Now, I'll come in with this, and I see you, and I try to hide it, but you see it. So you grab it away from me, you open it up, and when you see the kind of money that I'm spending on Nancy, you start yelling at her again. But this time, you go at her, and you try to tear her hair out. That's when I'll pick you up and toss you out of the room, huh?
Yes, that will work very well. It's quite a necklace.
Well, as I said, Julia, this has to be real, huh?
I'd say that's about $10,000 worth of reality.
Well, that's the way it has to be if Nancy's gonna believe it. You want her to believe this con game, don't you?
Oh, well, yes, definitely.
All right, then that is the going rate.
You have to spend money to make money, right?
That's right, that's right. And if you can just show Nancy what you're showing me right now, I guarantee that you will have a necklace that'll make that thing look like it came out of a box of Cracker Jack.
You do make a lot of promises, don't you?
Yes?
Oh, yes. Is this the Carpenter household?
Yes, it is.
Oh, good. My name is Jeremy Lancelot. I have an appointment to see Charles Carpenter.
Oh, I'm afraid he isn't in at the moment.
He's not. Okay. Well, could I leave a message with you, or could I maybe No, I tell you what, I'll come back a little bit later. Thank you very much.
Oh, but I'm expecting him back shortly. Would you care to come in and wait?
Yes, may I?
Of course.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Can I take this?
Yes, thank you. That's very nice of you, Mrs. Carpenter.
Oh, I'm not Mrs. Carpenter. I'm Mrs. Lucas, the housekeeper.
Oh, you are? Oh, excuse me.
That's all right. What is the nature of your business?
I work with the Kingsley Museum, and I have an appointment to work with Charles Carpenter on the next auction, so I've come by to discuss a few things with him.
Oh, isn't that exciting?
Yeah, I think so. I feel very lucky. It's my first job here. I'm new in town. And I think it's an honor to work with someone as important as Charles Carpenter.
Oh, where are you from?
Canada.
Oh, that's such a beautiful country. All those polar bears and Eskimos. Why did you come to Kingsley?
There's no special reason. I do have a relative in the area, though.
Oh, excuse me.
Sure.
Oh, Mrs. Mason.
Hello, is my father in?
Oh, I'm afraid he isn't. But I'm expecting him back momentarily. Won't you come in and wait?
All right, thank you.
One promise I'm holding you to, and that's the phony divorce papers. Don't try to pull any tricks, okay?
Now, what do you mean by that?
You know exactly what I mean. And sweetheart, if you've forgotten, let me remind you that I have a paralegal degree. Spotting a fake document is my specialty.
You know, Julie, there are times when I think you don't trust me.
You're not the only one that wants to see your father. There's someone else waiting to see him.
Oh, who?